Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the GSS Global Services Sector Talent Hub Fireside Chat, where we chat about issues to do with the global services sector today. We are coming to you live on the GSS YouTube Talent Hub page, and we are also streaming on LinkedIn. You can listen to previous sessions at the GSS Talent Hub Fireside Chat on YouTube. There you will hear interesting discussions around the many career opportunities that the industry presents in areas such as business process outsourcing, BPO, knowledge process outsourcing, information technology outsourcing. You'll be reminded of careers that extend beyond customer service and will include accounting, auditing, HR, shared services, and a variety of entry level, medium level, the medium tier, and high level careers. There are other episodes that have dealt with issues such as writing a winning resume, doing a successful interview, finding the perfect career fit. And that's the one that makes you passionate and want to jump out of bed in the mornings to pursue a dream, to pursue a goal. So today we're here to talk about how do we get ready for these careers. The focus will be on training. So our discussions will center around career success with GSS, leveling up through training, leveling up through training. You know, jobs are evolving, as we all know. We have new and emerging careers, and even the traditional ones, they have introduced new technologies. And we need to keep up to date, or we are going to be left behind. We need to be agile, we need to be flexible, and we need to embrace lifelong learning. I think of my own situation as a curriculum developer. You know, I was accustomed to just sitting down, writing a curriculum. Now we have taken it online, and I'm forced to go and learn about the different learning management platforms like Google, Blackboard, you know, Canva, where you can go up and create exciting courses online that will engage your students. Now, according to Forbes magazine, writing in 2023, they have an article that I came across in preparation for this, talking about why upskilling and reskilling are essential. It speaks to market circumstances, technologies, and organizations evolving, where we have in demand skills. We need just in time training. Many times we don't have a very long time to do training in order to be able to equipped and ready and ready to go. Throughout history, we have seen quite a number of forces that have shaped us. We had the Industrial Revolution. Now we're talking about the technological revolution. And more recently, you have seen what AI is doing to revolutionize jobs, to revolutionize industry. Forbes further went on to say, when employees see a business investing in their career growth, it can boost their productivity. Learning opportunities tend to increase job satisfaction. This leads to better outcomes. You're more satisfied with your job. And the improved skill sets gets you ready to have more desirable business results. At heart, we play a leading role in being responsive to industry demands. We think about training for our youth and our adults, where we encourage them to embrace lifelong learning, to be trained to international standards. And there are quite a number of programs that support the global services sector. We see programs in accounting, customer service engagement, business administration, computer service and support, supervisory management, system administration. So the GSS industry has proven to be quite buoyant. During COVID, it's one of the industry that was quite resilient. Our young people, they were able to be engaged, and it continued to contribute significantly to the Jamaican economy. We talk about the apprenticeship program. It's a program that offers, and we are going to be speaking more about it today, 80% on the job training, 20% of the job training in areas such as supervisor management, leadership and management, and it really empowers the employees to move into mid-level careers, supervisory and leadership roles while earning national certification. It's really an earn while you learn program. And its mandate is referred to as PEAK. What does PEAK mean? Performance to enhance and accelerate your knowledge. So you perform to enhance and accelerate your knowledge. At the moment, it has, up to this point, it has employed more than, or allowed for more than 2,750 apprentices. These are employees to participate, to learn, to grow, to become transformational leaders, and to really make a difference in the industry. We have two esteemed colleagues with us today to just continue the discussion, to just chat with us. Our first is Mr. Marlon Johnson. Mr. Johnson is an experienced educator. He has a demonstrated history of working in education management and leadership. He's skilled in research, in change management, in policy development, in strategic workforce planning and development, in Microsoft tools, in customer service, in coaching. He's a graduate of the University of the West Indies. He has a master's degree in sociology and anthropology, and he has a bachelor's degree in geography. He has also obtained certifications in workforce planning, development and training, change management, and corporate governance. Quite impressive. So we are really very privileged to have Mr. Johnson with us today. He currently serves as a Senior Programs Director of the Apprenticeship MSc Support Unit at Heart NSTA Trust. A warm welcome to you, Marlon. Thank you so much for coming and joining us in this chat today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mole.
You're most welcome. We also have Mrs. Belinda Sutherland Dow, and she has over 30 years as a experience as a training and development specialist. She has had more than 6 years experience in human resource management. She also has qualifications and experience more than 2 years in curriculum development. She has worked in the private and public sectors. She has a Master of Arts in Teaching and a Bachelor of Science in Human Resource, in addition to several other certifications. She has contributed to the upgrading of the curriculum through Heart, so she works well with Heart in helping with occupational standards and with curriculum development. She has done extensive work in tourism, has worked with Team Jamaica and upgrading content for the global services sector through the Educational Technology Management Unit of Heart NSTA Trust. She is focused on training that will improve the competencies of the employees in the global services sector, and she's currently engaged in that. Welcome, Belinda. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr.
You're most welcome. So we have some exciting issues around which we are going to have our chat today. And I am going to start with Marlon. So Marlon, tell us a little about the importance of training as a key component of one's professional journey. What are your thoughts on training? And how do you think it helps employees to be more competitive in the world of work, right? And why should we embrace training as a lifelong learning endeavor? So just your thoughts on training and its relationship to professional development.
Thank you so
Marlon?
much for that question. Thank you so much for that question, Dr. Amanda. Well, lifelong learning and training and the certification is of critical importance to everyone. And this is so because, in the past, industries, job function and industries evolve over, a longer period of time. Now, industries and your job evolve over 5 to 10 years, your job changes. So for you to remain current, it's of critical importance that you continuously make yourself aware of the cutting edge technology, of the best practices in your particular area and sector. Consequently, it's of critical, paramount importance that as an individual, as a collective, as in a particular sector, you engage, you ensure that you practice continuous learning and development.
So you're advocating for continuous learning and development in order to be on top of what is happening in the sector.
and to
Interesting
remain
perspective.
and to remain globally
Belinda,
competitive.
and to be globally. So we hear important terms like global competitiveness. Belinda, do you have any thoughts around that? The importance of training? Is there anything you'd like to add to what Marlon has said? How
Thank you.
important do you think it is as a part of the professional journey?
Thank you, Dr. Amanda. Yes, I think training is very important to professional development. It gives employees a better understanding of their responsibilities and also their knowledge and skills to do a job. Now, when individuals are trained, I'm specifically looking at the GSS sector. When they are trained within the sector, they will improve this will improve their confidence, and this can positively impact on the sector. So I think training is very important.
Okay. What about competition in the world of work? We heard Marlon mention global competitiveness. How do you see training in relation to being competitive in the world of work, Belinda?
Training is very important because in this global economy, technology is ever changing. Trends in this economy, when I look at it from even a standpoint of tourism, the industry that I'm from, there are many trends now in tourism. So therefore, training is very important so that one can have a competitive advantage.
Competitive advantage.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, Marlon, could you just elaborate a little on if you were to speak to the employees in the global services sector? What would you say to them about the concept of lifelong learning?
So the first thing, you have to change the window through which you look at the world. No longer you're here in Jamaica just competing with your colleagues in Jamaica or just competing with your colleagues in CARICOM. When you enter a sector such as the GSS sector, you are leveraging your skills and services with persons globally, persons in India, persons right across the world. And this is a basis on which I say you have to look at it from a global perspective. So whatever your skills are, whatever services you're offering, you must be at the global level because you are indeed competing with persons from across the globe. So that perspective will push you. That will operate as a drive for you to understand that every single day you wake up, you are competing with persons globally, not your colleagues beside you or across the office or in the Caribbean, but you're competing with your colleagues across the world. And that's the basis, the foundation on which it's imperative that you continuously improve your skills, improve what you offer to ensure you're bringing value added. Because when you enter that space, you have to ensure that you're adding value to your place of work, because so you have to, and that's that you get that value added by your skills that you continuously develop.
Yes, thank you for that. That's a very critical point. The importance of being trained in alignment with international standards, because we now have a borderless world. And as you said, many of these GSS employees are competing with other employees in other parts of the world. And you need to know that you are really performing at international standards. You also mentioned, and Belinda also said it, to be more competitive in the world of work and add value. Just to extend that a bit, what are some of the practical skills that you can embrace through training? So, as you look at your own growth and development in the GSS sector, what are some of the practical skills that you think training can help these employees to develop?
Belinda, you want me to go ahead?
Yeah,
Belinda?
you can go, you all right. You can go ahead, and then I'll add to what Mark
No
is.
problem.
Okay.
So a study was done, and it evades me now who did the study. But one of the things, they interviewed a number of employers across the world, and they're asking the employers what skills they want. What's the most important skill that they want? And I was in a group with a sector skills council recently, and all Jamaican employers are saying the same thing. They want persons what we call the soft skills, the skills for you to work with colleagues. Because the truth is, the firms can teach you the technical skills in
Technical
many
skills.
instances, but it's important that you have what is referred to as the soft skills, working with colleagues, have an attitude of gratitude. Those are critical for you to function and leverage yourself and be above and beyond the average Joe and Jane in the place of work. So those soft skills that you mentioned, you're working with colleagues, you being able to be on time, you being able to
Time
manage
management.
your social spaces. Because one of the things I always tell youngsters colleagues is that when you go up for an interview, the interview begin long before you enter the interview space. The HR start to check your socials long before. So you have to start by even managing your socials. And those are important for you to leverage and be above and beyond everyone else.
And can I
Okay,
add
very,
to
very
that?
much so. So, some the key, those soft skills, those skills that we consider, sometimes we say they are soft, and so we do not elevate them and give them the prominence that they need. But we are finding more and more that those are key skills that are needed in the world of work, especially, and it goes across all sectors and it
Indeed.
goes across all positions. All right, Belinda, would you like to just elaborate on
Yeah,
that?
yes, I would just like to
How
add
we
that it is very also, he spoke about the soft skills being important, but I think team building and coaching skills are also very relevant skills in this, in this in this age. So I think that is also something that we have to, embrace those skills, in order for us to move to the next level.
Right. And the GSS apprenticeship program, it allows for the development of some of those key, well, other work terms that are used to describe them are core skills or employability skills.
Okay.
So we talk about the skills like dealing with diversity. Yes, teamwork is also one of them. Problem solving, coaching,
Mhm.
mentoring,
Yes.
even an underrated skill such as listening. Those are key skills. And there are other technical skills like strategic planning, that's all data analytics, research skills. These are key skills that are needed now as we think of taking these jobs to the next level. Customer service, listening is key.
Yes.
How to be respectful, how to
Mhm.
work as a team. So those are all some practical skills that can be developed. There are many times when a lot of these employers in the industry and in other industries, they are working, they have competing demands. Many of them, they have the job requirements, what the job demands. They have families. Many have community engagements. What advice would you give to an employee as they try to balance the demands of training, a full-time career, as well as all the other demands on their time? So as they seek to upskill, as they seek to move towards their professional goals, embrace training and upgrading, it can really become overwhelming. It can become demanding. What advice would you give them as they seek to reach these goals? Belinda?
Okay. I think as employees, as you go up the ladder, planning becomes one of the crucial or the necessary tools that has to be planning and scheduling. Also, as you climb the ladder with the demands, you have to develop a relationship with your employer and let them know what your career ambitions are, because as you climb up the ladder, there might be opportunities for you to continue to upskill, but your time on the job would be very important. So I think there must be a strategy to create a balance for training. So there must be planning becomes very important. Planning and scheduling.
Okay, so planning, I hear you say planning, focus,
Yeah.
scheduling,
Yes.
and communicating with
Communicating.
your
Yes.
team members, communicating with your supervisors, your managers, your bosses, to tell them exactly what is going on, for them to be aware of your career aspirations. Marlon, is there any perspective you'd like to add to that?
I can't help myself, Dr. Monday, but I have to put a shameless plug for the Heart NSTA Trust. I think as an organization, we have become quite flexible. We offer training and certification on a very flexible manner. We have workforce training where if you are working in a particular area for a number of years, we can come into your space and certify you on the job. If there are gaps, we fill those gaps and certify you on the job. So that's the workforce training. We have work-based training, the apprenticeship type training, where you spend 4 days in industry and 1 day in a theoretical classroom setting while you're on a qualification pathway, and you'll be given a stipend or a salary depending on where you are. So that's a second methodology. We also have institution-based training, and even our own institution, I think it's 26 or 27 institution, have become so flexible. We offer evening, Saturdays, in some instances Sundays. So the Heart NSTA Trust, we offer we are quite flexible again to meet, because remember, we are serving persons from 17 to 170 years old. So wherever you are on that training and certification continuum, we have a solution for you. So I had to put that plug there, Dr. Monday. But the
Oh,
truth,
yes, I agree with you fully. Various modalities
a
for
number.
training and upgrading.
And the truth is, even other training organizations, they have become, our universities have become quite flexible, I must say also. So the truth is, training and certification, and if you have to, you can access training and certification overseas there too, because persons don't understand that there are a number of offshore universities and offshore training organizations on our shores here offering training. So you have to do your research. But again, I must say the Heart NSTA Trust, we offer up to the associate degree free of charge, and we are quite flexible. So I had to put that shameless plug in.
No, it's not shameless at all. It's what we do. And that is why the partnership
Well
has
said, Mr.
proven to be
Johnson.
so productive with this GSS project being led by the project execution unit in Jampro and the Heart NSTA Trust. They play a very key role in providing these professional development opportunities for the apprentices. So, as you talk to a young person, you would say, I hear you saying, look for opportunities. There are opportunities that abound. You
Indeed.
know, there are opportunities online. As I said, the world is becoming borderless. We are seeing where many universities, international universities, are now seeing education as a trade, something to trade, and they are taking their services out of their countries and extending it internationally. So, because of that, there is greater access to training and certification. Look at the various modalities. So full time may not be good for you, but some short, intense
Correct.
courses. I hear you talk about the micro credentials. Belinda also referred to the importance of being organized and
Yes, yes.
focused. As a matter of fact, I saw something recently saying that focus and organization is a key skill in demand for 2024. And you know, this idea of focus is so important because there are so many things that are competing for our attention, especially the devices and the technologies.
Technology.
And so we have to learn to manage that. So simple things like getting pen and paper and writing down your goals for the day would be aligned to organization, Belinda. So
Yes,
organization, focus, being flexible, and looking for opportunities, especially those online opportunities.
yes, yes.
I will now just shift a little to the GSS apprenticeship program. And Mr. Johnson, I know you have led that program. You have a key role as a leader and as
Wow.
an administrator. It has proven to be quite a successful program. As I said, more than 2,700 employees from the global services sector, they have been engaged in this program. Could you tell us a little about how do you see that program in terms of the training and the upskilling and the transition and moving on to the next level of supervisors, managers, and leaders? So, just elaborate a little on the value of that program in the context of the upgrading, the upskilling, the training, and how it propelling these employees into new areas of management.
Thank you so much. I think we're a little bit over 3,000 now, last check, Dr. Amanda. So yes,
Wow, we are growing.
yes,
Wonderful.
yes. This particular project has done wonders for the sector first and foremost. The numbers tell it all. The sector would have grown tremendously over the life cycle of the project. The individuals through their certification in leadership and management would have contributed because of their gained knowledge and competencies. This would have been transcended to the respective firms, and the firms tell you the story also at the graduation ceremonies that they have seen the marked difference in the attitudes and the value added that these trainees bring to their respective organization. You see, one of the beauty, Dr. Monday and Belinda, about training and certification is that, and I always tell firm, because the firms will ask you, what is in it for me? Yes, you're training and certifying my team members, but what is in it for me? And I always say this to them: when you have team members who are trained and certified,
Not quite sure what is
I think
happening,
it's hung
but
up.
Mr. Johnson was there
Trained
talking
and
about the.
certified. It
Okay, good. He's
increased
back.
efficiency. Yes, it increased efficiency on the part of the individual. With this increased efficiency, it increased productivity. And what that does, with increased productivity, that means increased profits. So that kind of conversation I have, that's the kind of conversation I have with the firms to let them understand how when your team members are trained and certified and they are more efficient, we're now having conversation around productivity, they are more productive. You see how this translates into you making more money. So it has one grown the individuals at the micro level, but at the macro level, the sector, the respective
Yes,
firms
growth
will
is
have grown also.
Okay, wonderful.
also
So it
done.
is really, that's what you talk about value added, right?
Yes.
So
Indeed.
you get
Can,
competent employees, employees who have acquired new skills, new competencies, and that translates into increased
yes.
productivity.
Can I
Well
add
said.
something to that?
Belinda, please go ahead. You
Ye-
engage with these apprentices as a
Yes.
trainer. You
Okay.
see them
One of
come
the
in.
things that
Yes,
I
go
also
ahead.
say, adding to what Mr. Johnson has said, in addition to increasing the competence, the skills, some of the competencies that they have garnered can give accreditation give them accreditation in other programs as they further upskill, themselves, and
Wonderful.
that is also very good.
If I
So
may
it
also,
allows them to
if,
matriculate into other
Matriculate, yes,
programs.
in other
if I
programs.
may also, Dr. Monday, while we encourage the trainees to remain in Jamaica, it makes them portable. We have to be honest with ourselves. Training and certification makes somebody portable. You can now operate in anywhere in the world with that training and certification. We talk about borderless world. So while we encourage and we beseech and we beg and ask them to stay and contribute to our GDP and our development, the truth is it makes them portable, and that's also value added.
To portable qualifications. Wonderful. Thank you. So Belinda, you start them on the journey. You go through it with them and you take them to the end. You're at their graduations even. Tell us about how you see them growing throughout the process. What are the issues? How do they come to you? And do you
Okay.
see any changes as they go through these programs, the supervisory management and the leadership?
So I start them on a journey. Dr. Amande, I spend approximately a year with them. So it is so heartwarming to see them grow. And at the end of the period, with coaching, mentorship, those are necessary skills that I have to bring to the table. It is so good to see the level of growth, especially because my last program was a leadership, to see them grow into young leaders. So it is very, it gives me a very good feeling of fulfillment that, we start at the beginning of the journey. It probably sometimes was a little hassle to get them, to commit. But that gradual commitment and that growth, and then that young leader, very fulfilling, I must say.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that's what learning is about, Learning ought to be about transformation. Is how are you as an individual transformed in the process?
Yes.
How do you think this program, Mr. Johnson, is helping with to reposition the GSS industry? I know many years ago we would call it call center, and we see it as being for a particular job. You go in there and it's basically at the lower level. But as we think about the supervisory and the leadership and the management, how do you think it's helping with the change in the perception, and how is it contributing to reposition and give a new meaning and a new definition to the industry and what it's about?
Dr. Monday, two things come to mind. Uh, no longer when you enter the sector, no longer HR is offering you a job. HR is now offering you a career in the GSS sector. And that's the conversation, that narrative has changed. So we're no longer offering a job. A job is a short term. We're offering a career pathway. So you're here now, but this is our plan for you to move from where you are now, and we have different training and certifications to bring you right up to the top of the ladder, and we have all examples of that. So the first thing is that it really shows individual that it's no longer about you just applying for a job and get a little work, but you're now entering a career pathway right up to top of the ladder. Very important for the sector itself. So that's for the individual. For the sector itself, this particular apprenticeship framework used for the GSS, it can be used for other sector. I want you to see this model as a template that can be replicated to other sectors. We will ensure order move into maybe construction, logistics, manufacturing, and those other key growth sectors. So I want you to see the methodology, the apprenticeship tool, the model used as a template that can be replicated into other sectors to see, so we can have similar growth and similar increase in human capital.
Wow. And that's really a testament. That is really a compliment to how this GSS project has been organized by the PEU. I hear you say that the model, we can look at it and see how it can be replicated and used to develop other sectors. And that speaks to the success of this initiative. And I think one of the success factors has been the engagement of the employers, the engagement of the industry. They have led it. And having been a part of the curriculum development initiatives, I have seen that the competencies for the development of the program, they came from the employers. It's based on real practical needs in the industry. So quite good. Very, very, it's a compliment to the GSSPEU and the work that they have done. In terms of addressing skills gaps, do you think that the program, that's the GSS apprenticeship program, Miss Belinda, has it in any way, how do you see it contributing to addressing the local skills gaps?
Well, I think it is a I think it can contribute to skills gap as it relates to the local apprentice. Now, when you look at the beginning of the programs, many of these apprentices have especially if you're looking at the leadership curriculum, very little knowledge of leadership. So many of them come to you with very little knowledge in that area. But when the relevant competencies are introduced to them and they are able to garner those skills, I think that is where it can contribute to the skills gap to a great extent.
If
I may.
Okay,
thank you for that. Mr. Johnson, Marlon, you want to extend on that in any way?
Indeed. You see, I am so passionate about apprenticeship and the tool of apprenticeship and what it does. I want to plug here that when the tool of apprenticeship is used, everybody wins. The trainee wins because they're on a qualification pathway, they're getting a stipend. the firm win because they are getting additional human capital. They're getting new knowledge because these trainees come with new knowledge in the workspace. And of course, we as the technocrats meet our mandate. The truth is, when any firm that has a robust, agile apprenticeship system, and you can do the research, I can show you all the high level research, they have increased retention. Because again, remember they're on a qualification pathway, they know that the firm now cares for them. So the idea of them leaving the firm, they think twice. Because any firm will tell you one of their largest costs is because of attrition, and they have to onboard. Onboarding, getting new entrants into the space is one of the most expensive thing for any firm. So when a firm employs a very robust, agile apprenticeship system, it increase retention and reduce over a period of time, reduce your onboarding costs. So it helps totally, and everybody wins. The trainee wins, the firm wins, and of course the country wins. And that's why I'm so passionate about this tool.
And Dr.
So,
Amanda,
yes, Belinda, go
Mr.
ahead.
Johnson spoke about that stipend. I think I'm talking about my experience with the apprentice. That was like, there were many instances when they spoke about it. So for me, listening to them, it was a motivating factor to see that they were receiving a stipend while learning. So that was a motivating factor for many.
And that's one of the defining features of the apprenticeship program. As I said, this program is described as earn while you learn, so that really keeps them going. As it relates to skills gaps, I've been a part of the process. And as I said, these are the areas addressed, the competencies, the skills, the attitudes addressed in both programs came from the employers. It came from the industries. And I'm glad you feel so passionate about the apprenticeship program, Mr. Johnson. So in the near future, we are going to see it expanded and rolled out into other industries. So we are looking forward to that, because many countries in the developed world, they have shown us that given their context, given their infrastructure, apprenticeships, they do work. You can even progress through the apprenticeship program to really high level qualifications. We have seen it in Germany, Australia, Canada, the UK, and we look forward to the exciting work that you're doing around apprenticeship, Mr.
If I may, Doc, I just want to put another plug here that one of the things the Heart NSTA Trust is doing is creating a culture of apprenticeship, and culture is important because in the UK, when a youngster wants a job, they prefer to use the tool of apprenticeship because they understand that tool works for them. They are plugged into the economic sector long before their colleagues. They're on a qualification pathway and all the other trappings of it. So we want to create that culture. So when a youngster wants to bridge between school and work, they think about apprenticeship. When a firm wants new entrants, they think about the tool of apprenticeship because again, it reduces their onboarding costs. And of course it increased productivity. So that culture around apprenticeship is important, and we are on that pathway. The trust through our MD and DMD and all the colleagues are on that pathway to ensure that everybody is on this ship towards this great space.
Right. So we're taking it to the next
towards
level.
The peak. Doc.
Yes. Performing at excellent standards.
Yes.
We're going down now. I just want to say, because we have viewers here, we have those in virtual land. We hope to hear a few questions from them very soon. But what would you recommend to any employee out there, any young person, any adult those transitioning, even those who have retired and they're thinking of a new direction. Even as we think of the GSS, what would you recommend to them in terms of programs, initiatives and strategies that they can pursue to help with their own upskilling and reskilling and to address any training needs that they have? So are there any programs or initiatives or strategies that you would recommend to them as they seek to grow and to advance in their careers? Mr. Johnson, what would you recommend to them?
I sometimes, I'm quite reluctant to refer programs to persons, because when it comes on to the trust, I want persons to do programs that they enjoy, that they want to. I don't want to say go and do this or do that. So consequently, I'll encourage everybody listening to me here, now, here and abroad, follow all the Heart NSTA Trust socials. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, all the social, because that's where the information is. We post where all of our programs are being offered, the flexible programs, the online programs, the evening programs. So when you follow our socials, you're in the know, the robotics, whatever it is you want to do, we have a solution for you. But you can't know if you don't know. So it's important for you to follow all the Heart NSTA Trust social. Secondly, I want you to go to my GSS career pathway .gov.gm. Again, my GSS career pathway .gov.gm, where you can do your self-assessment, you can do your plan for the future, you can use the Rezac and to help you to find your ideal career. So these are there. These are just interesting and beautiful time when there's so much around in the ecosystem to assist you to get where you want to go. Not where we are telling you to go, not where we think you should go, but where you want to go. So first, follow all the Heart NSTA Trust socials. We're on everything now. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook for the old folks, for the older folks like me. And all the social, follow them because the information is there. I still do course, even though I'm a team member at Heart, I still do courses there because I find value, great value in doing the courses there. So at any stage, age or stage, you can do programs at the Heart NSTA Trust. But again, you can also go to my GSS career pathway.gov.gm and you have a fleet of activities there to point you in the right direction, into the direction where you want to go based on the assessment.
Thank you, Mr. Marlon. Great motivation there. That's a
Okay,
key
my
resource.
recommendation,
Yes, please
doctor,
go
is
ahead,
that
Belinda.
whatever career path that you want to pursue, never feel that you're too old or it's too late. We are in a global economy, and once you have the competitive advantage, that is what really matters nowadays. So my recommendation is that you always seek out new programs. I think for professionals, I think LinkedIn is a very good social media, network. And never forget to seek out the program list on the Heart website, www.heartnsta.org/program list. And there on that website, that particular area, there's quite a bit of vocational and technical training programs there.
Okay, lovely, Belinda. And I do support you on that. We have a wide variety of programs at Heart NSTA Trust to support your career journey, to help you to advance your careers. And even for the GSS industry, we have programs, as I mentioned earlier, in accounting, in administrative assistance, business administration, computer service and support, computer lab technician. We have the customer engagement operations. We have office administration, data operations, document control, front office guest service agent, um, supervisory management that we just discussed. We have network security management, very key, records and information management, system administration. And these go up to the very high levels from level 2 right up to level 5. And don't forget that programs up to level 4 are tuition free. So you really do not have any excuses. I will pause here a moment and just to go over to Tene to ask if there is any question there from those who have joined us online. One question. Yes, it's here. How can I ensure that I'm pursuing certifications that are in demand now? What specific courses or fields would you recommend for today's world? So there are really two questions. How can I ensure that I'm pursuing certifications that are in demand now? And what specific courses or fields would you recommend for today's world? Do you want to take the first one, Belinda?
How can I ensure
that I'm pursuing certifications that are in demand now?
This is a very broad question. Certifications. Well, what you can do is, as an individual, I usually look at the market, look at the job market, and this you will garner information if you are an avid reader, if you're an avid professional network person. So whatever that is pursued as being in demand, I would just pursue a career or a certification in that area. You have nowadays, I find that the BPO sector has been one of the career that has been looked at as being in demand. So you find that many persons now are pursuing training in what we call it call center in that area. Basically, I think just keeping abreast of what is in the media, what is on social media, and as it relates to your profession. And then
very good,
ensuring that you have certified yourself in those fields.
Okay, thank you for that. And I just want to add to that, Belinda, that this is a very important career development question. And Heart has one of our arms, one of our unit focuses on career development. So you can come in to our career development office located up by NCT Vet compound on Gordontown Road and just have a discussion. We have quite a lot of resources there that speak to careers that are
career counseling.
Yes, you can come and you can get career counseling. Part of it too is that you'll have to do your research to determine what are the careers that are in demand. There's a lot of research out there on the internet.
You'll find
the
it on social
Ministry of Labor also has lots of information as to careers that are in demand. So you can come in and speak to us in our in our career development unit. You do the research online because there's a lot of information as to careers that are in demand. We also have our labor market and intelligence portal, the LMIP portal Heart. And if you go on that, it tells you a lot as to the job areas that are in demand. So you will find that there are lots of areas in computer information technology. We have cyber security. We are focusing a lot now on robotics, electric vehicle maintenance, the health and the beauty industry. There
That's
are
right.
jobs around that.
Agriculture.
Jobs in
Agriculture.
agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say ICT is also a big one. Mechatronics. We find that there are lots of jobs in the construction sector. Jobs in hospitality and the tourism. So if you go up on the labor market and intelligence portal, you will find some information there. You go on the internet. So come February 3rd to 9th, we're going to celebrate National Career Awareness Week. And it's being celebrated in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, with
Okay.
HEART, with the Jamaica Library Service. And the focus is to have these very kinds of discussions that this question is stimulating. Careers. What are the careers in demand? How
Doc,
do I get myself ready for a career? What skills do I need? So you will have some quite interesting. Where do I go to find the information? But the internet is a rich
Yes.
reservoir of information when it comes to careers that are in demand. UTech has a career center.
Career
UE has
fairs.
a career center, and you can come in and just talk to us at our career center in Hart and all the parishes. The Hart, we have 6 regions, and each region you can go in and speak to our career service
Mhm.
officer, where they will help you to answer the questions. What certification can I pursue to equip myself for careers that are in demand? We have careers in the creative industry now. That is also another area. Um, it adds what specific courses or fields would you recommend for today's world? Do you want to take that one, Mr. Johnson? I've already listed some. Would you like to add any more? What
you, well, you,
specific
you,
courses or fields would you recommend for today's world?
you so eloquently cover quite a number of them. Anything in tech, because you want to do transferable skills. Anything in technology, you can do. Remote work is a very sexy thing these days, so anything in tech will allow you to do remote work. And I know the youngsters these days, they like the idea of remote work. But I want to, while
Digital
you
technology too.
yes, while you outline all the skills they can approach, I want to again reemphasize and reiterate the whole importance of you building those core skills, those emotional intelligence skills,
Soft
those
skills.
tho- those core skills, because those it's one thing to get the skills to get the job, but those core skills are what help you to keep the job. You
Yes.
with me? So
Mhm.
so so while you're there getting those critical competencies in IT, ITC,
Yes.
very important, and the creative sector and agriculture, because those are the huge things these days. There are 9 growth
Yes.
sectors, and you can go and research them in Jamaica at this point. But those core skills, that emotional intelligence,
Mhm.
all those other skills are what helps you to keep that job. And I want to reemphasize and reiterate that particular point.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I also want to add, in addition to the technology and the agriculture and the construction
Construction
and
is very strong.
manufacturing, healthcare is also another area. Okay, and counseling. Okay, that is something they said AI will not be able to take over, because we
And
need
let us not
persons
forget
who can
tourism,
do
Mark.
tourism. Yes,
Tourism, yes.
hospitality and
Number one,
tourism.
Jamaica is the number one English speaking country in
Yes.
tourism. So let us not forget.
Okay,
Very strong
we have
industry.
come to thank you all for that. Belinda and Marlon, you have been phenomenal in terms of taking us through some very key questions around the need for training and its importance to one's professional journey, and how it helps us to be more competitive, flexible, agile, get us to be ready to work at international standards, to compete on the global stage, and that there are some, when we get training, when we get the long-term training and the short intense training, it can really position us to grow our careers. The need for us to be organized, the need for us to be flexible and agile and digitally literate, because that is also the online platforms are key modalities that provide opportunities for training. We have looked at the global services sector, the GSS project execution unit based in Jampro, and how it is helping through this project to move the sector forward by training for higher value careers, not just entry-level customer service. The apprenticeship, and how that is a key modality, work-based learning. And I'm saying that even now with the LIFT program that was launched in the latter part of last year, it embraces the concept of learning on the job, because you are getting the skills and you are doing it in a practical, real life environment. That's the key way of being work ready. And we have looked at some of the resources, including the programs that Heart NSTA offers for helping you with your own career growth and development. We want to hear from you. So we're going to ask you to tell us what are some of the other topics we can discuss in the future live sessions on Talent Hub Fireside Chat. Make sure you share your feedback and your recommendations. Email us at communications_GSS@jamprocorp, that's GAMPROCORP.com. Send us a message on any of our social media platforms as an alternate way of communicating. Follow us on the GSS Talent Hub on LinkedIn for an industry job board. It's there. Career resources that includes videos, blogs, infographics, and these will help you to prepare for and to grow your careers. And it's not only the long courses, but it's also the short courses. Mr. Johnson mentioned it. Sign up on the GSS Career Pathway Framework at www.mygsscareerpathway.gov.jm to learn about the various exciting career pathways in the GSS and complete a RIASEC self-assessment test to help you to figure out careers that fit your personality. And it's really careers too that go right across the ladder, the lower level right up to the mid-tier to the higher level value-added careers. Follow us on social media, Global Services Sector Jamaica on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, at GSS Jamaica on Instagram, and GSS Jamaica 1 on Twitter. Share the link to this session with your family and friends and let us know your thoughts. I want to thank you, especially to Belinda. This is Belinda Sutherland Dow and Mr. Marlon Johnson for being so generous with their time and sharing their comments. And I want to say a special thank you to our audience and those in virtual land. I hope you have learned something today and that you are motivated to embrace training to advance your careers. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
Doc. It was a